then help me welcome onto the stage Marla Dickerson. She is the Vice Chancellor of the Innovation and Strategic Partnership Initiative of SULC. Brilliant. So please give me the mic. Where's the mic? Here it is. There's it. Marla, good to see you. You were here last year and you are back again.
Yes.
What is the conversation this time on your panel?
We will be talking about our desire to create partnerships in Ghana and how the legal profession affects esports and scholastic gaming.
I love that. Esports is huge now, and we don't want to be left out, right? We don't want to be left out of esports, especially in Africa where the rest of the world are far gone and we're now catching up. We want to be right there. We want to be on the table. So it's a perfect conversation to be had. Now, who is on your panel?
Absolutely. So we have Christopher Turner, who is the director of our Mixed Reality Esports Virtual Innovation and Gaming Institute at Southern University Law Center. We have Kwesi Hayford, who is the president of the Ghana Association of Esports. And we have Danny Martin, who is the CEO and founder of Esposure, which is an esports company in the United States.
Oh, what a panel. What a panel. Should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the next session. Take it over.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So just to tell you a little bit about Southern University Law Center. Southern University Law Center is located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in the United States. We are a historically black college and university law center, one of 6 in the United States. We have approximately 825 students. Our programs of study include Juris Doctorate. We have a JD, Master's of Business Administration program, and then we have a JD, Master's of Public Administration as well. And so my office administers 8 institutes, and one of them is the Esports Institute that is directed by Christopher Turner. We're extremely excited to be here. As mentioned, this is our second year here at AfroSport Summit as a partner. We're looking to continue being a robust partner of AfroSport Summit. And without further ado, we're going to just launch straight into questions. The first question is for you, Danny. What are the key legal considerations in establishing and governing esports associations and organizations, and how do these considerations differ from traditional sports governance?
Absolutely. All right, so what's up, everybody? All right, so I think the biggest perspective that I want to be able to share today is let's look at the actual industry as a whole. How many people, by show of hands, understand and know about the data of esports and gaming? Anybody know the actual valuation of the industry? Anybody know how many colleges that are actually offering scholarships? How many people know about the actual value of esports right now? Or gaming? Okay, awesome. So when you think about the gaming industry right now, you're looking at about a $250 billion industry. And when you think about esports, think about it as a perspective of 1% of that. Anybody know what that number is? 2.5, right? 2.5 billion right now. But ultimately, when you think about the gaming, $50, it allows these game developers to thrive from the perspective of actually selling units. So when you think about esports, esports is one of those competitive elements, just like any sports, basketball, soccer, football, all of those. And so I want to start by understanding the value of the actual industry. When you think about the actual building a company in the esports and gaming industry, it's no different than starting Microsoft or starting Meta. You have to have the legal considerations, meaning how are you going to pay your individuals that are supporting your actual organization? For us as a company at Esposure, which we are an ed tech company that focuses on providing experiential opportunities for students in the esports and educational space, we have 2 things. We have an executive staff as well as we have contractors. For us in the industry of esports, it's a fairly new industry. When I was growing up in actual school, and when I was actually growing up as well as going to attending in college, I needed people to be able to support us from actual building out tournaments in school. I couldn't go to Monster or Indeed and actively identify like the individual who's been spending 10 years in esports and gaming. I had to actually develop individuals on campus to be able to help with tournaments. That's passing out flyers, that's structuring tournaments, that's brackets, that's producing, that's streaming. And a lot of these individuals, they didn't have considerations in regards to having multiple years of doing this. So when you think about building a company now, I'm focused on executive staff, which is ultimately hiring individuals on the team, but most importantly, contracting. You guys have the capabilities of being able to be hired for your skill sets. That means being able to do animation, graphic designing, videography, all of those. So when I think about our company, it's being able to leverage 1099s and making sure that we actually can be able to provide support from a contracting perspective to individuals. So that's the number one legal consideration that I focus in on when it comes down to hiring. We currently right now have about 10 individuals that are on our employee staff, but we contract over 40 individuals on any given basis. Currently right now during the summer within the US, I'm based out of Dallas, Texas. So in this instance, we have around about 17 students that are in high school and middle schools that are working in our organization from a contracting perspective. We hire these interns approximately around about $12 to $30 per hour. And at this point right now, this gives them a great opportunity to develop their portfolios. So therefore, when they get into college or going straight into the workforce, they have the skills that are super, super important. So for us, the legal consideration for us is identifying how to structure payments to the individuals that work for our company.
Thank you so much. So for all the students who are sitting out there and you're talking about that remote work that's going on, I'm pretty sure we have some students in Ghana that may want to benefit if you talk about legal considerations and how those students can actually take part as an international individual who may want to work remotely for Esposure. So I think that that's extremely important. You also mentioned, and this goes straight into our next question, contracts that individual players may need to sign, and how do you protect your brand? So Chris, what legal frameworks protect the rights of esport players, and what should players consider when entering into contracts with teams, leagues, and sponsors?
I think the first thing is seek a lawyer, seek Marla, seek somebody that's a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer per se, but I've been in the space long enough to know you have to get legal advice. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing is pretty much you have gaming associations from like an org standpoint. Like if Danny Kwesi right here wanted to join an association from an organization standpoint, you can. But now you're starting to see player organizations and associations where they represent the player's interests. So as a player, you have IP. Intellectual property, your face, your likeness, you don't want to sign it away. I've saw that happen multiple times, especially early on in the esports space where players just signed everything away and the organization got a piece of everything. You don't want that to happen. In the States, we also have workforce laws. You don't want to sign a contract saying you have to labor and you have to play it between 5 and 10, and then you only get 30-minute breaks. It's laws in place. I know you probably have laws in Ghana too, from a player perspective. If not, we need to start developing those because it's a job. It's like going to work 9 to 5. It's not like you don't have to go to the gym and work out, but it makes you better as an esports athlete. So you shouldn't have to be forced to do that. Those things shouldn't be in your contract. Some other things like non-compete clauses and composition and like benefits. So you want to make sure you're insured. You want to make sure that you're covered. You want to be able to go to the doctor. You want to be able to go to the physician. You want to make sure that's in your contract too. These always are making millions of dollars. If you sign to the right one. And so you don't want to get messed over on that perspective as well. And then lastly, your contract terms. You want to make sure that fair on both sides. You want to make sure that it's fair from a player's perspective, and you want to make sure that it's fair from an organization's perspective. You you rub my back, I rub yours type of scenario. But you want to make sure that the contract is fair. It's something that you can do, because that's one of the last things. You don't want to break that contract as well.
So for the students out there, just to tie in these last two questions that were asked. So Danny talked about building a resume or building a portfolio for high school and middle school kids who are a part of esports or want to pursue a career in esports. That oftentimes leads to scholarships that can be offered to students to actually go into university, which of course reduces the out-of-cost expense for you to actually pursue a university education. Chris started to talk about, now that you are in this league of people who will be sought after to play games, to use your skill set, to use your knowledge in order to enhance the visibility of the game, how do you then protect yourself, right? The first thing, I've met some amazing attorneys here since I've been in Ghana these last 2 years. The first thing that you want to do is to seek out legal counsel. You want to go to an attorney when someone comes up to you and say, I want to use your skill set, I want to use your face, I want to have you as the brand ambassador for a particular game. Well, that should cost them some money. You shouldn't go out and just utilize your skill set in order to make others money. As Danny was saying, when you're talking about Microsoft, when you're talking about Activision, when you're talking about some of these other gaming companies, it is a billion-dollar industry. So you have to know your worth, and sometimes we have to seek expert opinions in order for us to know our worth. As Danny said, he pays his interns $15 to $30 an hour. What does that look like for a company such as Microsoft, such as Activision, such as Madden, to use your face, to use your skill set in order to continue to drive their billion-dollar industry? So you want to make sure that you are seeking one of these very, very competent attorneys here before you sign your name on any line, to make sure that the benefit is going to go toward you and your family. You don't want to sign anything that is going to give away your rights, that's going to sell your image, that's going to sell your skill set, and you don't benefit from it. So it's very important, and this not only goes toward esports, but just as the panel that was talking to us before, this goes toward any sport. This goes toward any entertainment industry. Before you sign your name, you seek out someone who is going to be able to give you expert advice, because you should be the person who benefits from someone being able to use your skill set and your likeness in order to make money. You should benefit as well. So my next question is, I'm start with Kwesi. It's for everyone. How do intellectual property laws apply to esports, particularly concerning game publishers, content creators, and merchandise, and what legal challenges arise in this context?
Well, the challenges are very there. I mean, previously, years back, when gaming content was, there are music and other stuff in there. As a content creator, you want to stream, and Facebook will flag it. I particularly got banned on Facebook for streaming FIFA. Back then, they didn't have the turning off the music in the game. Now the technology is there. They've added it, so when you are playing FIFA, you can turn off. There's an option where you turn off that, turn off music for all streams, right? So that option wasn't there, like 2-3 years back. And I streamed, and the music content in the game got flooded in the I did that consistently again and again, and Facebook banned me. That took me to LinkedIn. So that took me to LinkedIn. And because I tried signing up on Facebook multiple times with my name, I changed my surname. Immediately, I put my picture in there. The algorithm got me, hey, you've been flagged. So gaming, I mean, I play video games. And I know a lot of people here also want to play video games and stream. And that is at the content pace. The publisher has put in some rules and regulations you shouldn't do. But you also bought the game, you own the game. But the trick is that, you know, when you are beginning to start the game, there's terms and conditions that you agree to. Unfortunately, most of us gamers don't read them, right? We are quick to play the game, so you go like, agree, but we are gone. So these are some of the things. There are rules and engagement in there that you really want to look at. Yes, you bought a game, but the game is not solely for you. There are music in the game that is for somebody. There are images in the game that is for somebody. And sometimes using them on certain platforms. So even so, the EA has rules with even broadcasting their games. You can't broadcast on traditional media. You can't do a tournament with a certain prize pool, you know, and it's all these IPs have rules and regulations. So as content creators and as gamers, we need to really read between the lines to see where these rules and regulations really apply to. Other than that, you get banned, you get frustrated, and get out of the system anyway.
Did you want to add anything? Okay.
Absolutely. All right, so you need to know that content is king, queen, and everything in between. And when you're thinking about that of creating content, as we stated earlier about how important portfolios is, these actual game development companies, when you think about a statistic, there's about 84%, 85% of all of us as African Americans and minorities, as well as Africans too, because I'm here now. When it comes down to perspective of us engaging in actual video games, we're consumers. We're consuming. But less than 5% of us are actively adding value to the industry when it comes down to creating the actual content. I've had so many friends, specifically over 5 individuals that I've personally known that are artists and athletes that have went home, created content, created a move like the whoa, like literally like dance moves, right? With their friends, got popular, and then Epic added it into Fortnite. So my friends are like, you're in the gaming industry. Why are they having my actual move in the game, and how much money am I gonna get? At this point right now, I can tell them like, they really are able to put your actual image in the game and you can't do nothing about it. The only way you can do something about it is if you seek that lawyer counsel ahead of time to be able to establish your IP, your branding, and being able to know that if you, and it's kind of hard because you can't go and create a dance move or create a saying and just know that it's gonna pop, or you can in your mind think that, but if it does pop, you know, a lot of people aren't thinking about like establishing their legal counsel and legal branding. Like people don't think about it because the chances of that happening is it's next to nil. But at the end of the day, there's somebody in this crowd right now that's gonna be at home, that's gonna be creating content, and then in the next instance, you're gonna be a celebrity because you've created something so super dope. I know this is gonna be pretty out of context, but anybody familiar with Hawk 2? Anybody? Do you know this individual was in a country town and said this on somebody creating some content, and now she has 1 million followers on Instagram right now? She became a celebrity overnight because she said a phrase. Now she's getting money for publishing deals, showing up to actual concerts. There's somebody in this crowd right now that's going to do something so dope. And this is the importance of why you need to think about legal counsel. Because if you don't, the world is going to know about you, but you're not going to see anything in your bank account. So make sure you seek legal counsel right now. If you're a creator, if you're a person right now, we're thinking about this actual industry as creating the games. If you think about Epic, if you think about Microsoft with Minecraft, if you think about these games, they're building games right now on engines like so many consistent engines that you're seeing right now. They're building these instances where you can create the games within the game. And ultimately for them, they can control the IP on that. So if you had to go and create your own game right now, this is the time to do it, because at the end of the day, if you're just creating on their platforms, they still own what? Your IP. So in this instance, man, make sure that you focus on the importance of establishing your IP, because it's super, super important. And you guys got some pretty cool people around you right now from a legal perspective that can be able to give you guidance. This is a new industry. A lot of people say esports is like the Wild Wild West. I actually think of it as a perspective of, what Elon Musk is doing, what Jeff Bezos is doing. What are they doing right now? They're actually creating rocket ships to go to other moons, planets, so many different places right now, beyond what we've experienced. When I think about esports right now, it's everyone creating their actual rocket so they can go to find another planet, another galaxy. And I think when you think about esports right now, this is how you should look at it. You have the ability to be able to learn from individuals in this room, from a legal counsel, and so many different perspectives. So therefore, you can be able to go to the next planet, the next galaxy. It's super, super important.
No one ever thought that the law can take you to the moon and stars, huh? This is what happens when you intertwine legal into all aspects of everything. And just as Danny and Kwesi were saying, it's a very intricately difficult way to navigate through things that are constantly developing. When you think of content creation, it's important, again, that you start to figure out how to protect your brand. There are different laws in different countries pertaining to what you own when you put it out into the world and on the interweb or on the internet. Because what happens is when you put something out, even though it may blow up like the Hawk 2 girl, because I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on when I saw it. I'm old enough to be y'all's mother, and I wasn't quite sure what was happening. But then I saw that she had gained all these followers. There were all these brands that were knocking down her door to have her to endorse different things, that she was now making apparel. And so you want to make sure that when something happens like that, and it can be in an instant, because literally there are so many people who are on the internet now trying to get famous. I feel like this is like the new wave of everything. You have to go into this as a mindset that says, this is mine and I'm going to benefit. This is literally changing lives. This is changing generational wealth. This is taking people from small country towns that no one has ever heard of or anyone has ever known about. It's putting not only that person on the map, but it's also putting their city, it's putting their state, it's putting their country, it's putting things on the map. We are in a place where we can share things culturally that we have never been able to share before. And what you think may be ordinary in your life that you live every day may be extraordinary to someone else, and it may take off. So that's the importance of making sure that you protect your thoughts, your ideas, those dance moves that become so popular, and literally other people can take it and put it into a game, or they can put it into the metaverse, or they can put it into virtual reality, and they can make money off of it, and you won't be able to make anything because you did not protect your brand, you did not protect your image, you did not protect your likeness. So that's why I always encourage, if you have a question, again, I've met some amazing attorneys here since I've been in Ghana, and they all have this wonderful thing. There's a couple of them that have consultation fees, but if you have an idea that's great enough, Ghana law may allow them to go ahead and seek and give you advice. So go and ask a question, because asking questions are free. Because you may have the next big thing. You may be like Hawk 2 Girl if you so aspire, you know. I kind of want to be like Michelle Obama, but it's okay to be like Hawk 2 Girl. That's good too. So the next question pertains to data privacy. With the increasing use of data analytics and player tracking in esports, what are the legal implications and responsibilities related to data privacy and security for esports organizations and tournament organizers? I'm going to start with you, Danny.
I think the biggest thing that I had to focus in on is our organizations, let me give some context to this. We focus on providing experiential opportunities for students in the esports and gaming space. So there's the competitive side, but for us, we identified a huge opportunity to create these same experiences for that of high school and middle school. So for an example, I'm building right now the first esports dedicated school in the US for students from 5th through 8th grade. I have a billionaire backer, and ultimately, for our perspective, we're leveraging AI technology to allow the students to learn math, science, social studies, and reading within 2 hours of the day. So the students come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and from 8 to 10 o'clock a.m., they are learning all of these different elements through AI, so no teachers from that first 2 hours. As we're learning them right now in the US, portfolio building, developing your skills is so important for you to get jobs. So for the next 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours of the day, we're creating projects that these students are able to experience, meaning, how many people in here know how to, solve a Rubik's Cube? Anybody? Raise their hands.
Do we know what a Rubik's Cube is?
No? Okay. All right. Yeah, all right. We got some people. Okay. So these students are learning how to be able to solve Rubik's Cubes. Also, the students are leveraging Unreal Engine to be able to build their actual games during the actual schooling time from 5th through 8th grade. And ultimately, it costs approximately $48,000 to attend our school per year. These are dollars. And the people who are able to afford this amount, they're parents that have the capabilities to be able to send their kids. I didn't have the opportunity. My mom didn't have that money to be able to send me to a school, to be able to pay that amount of money. But the questions that these parents have is data privacy. You guys are with my student, my kid, for 8 hours a day. What are you guys teaching them? How are you controlling that data? How are my kids exposed to things that I may want my kids to exposed to, but most importantly, I may not want my kids being exposed to, because I'm paying you guys all of this capital. So we have to make sure that we provide documentation for all the students that are a part of the actual organization or the institution to ensure that these parents feel comfortable about the data that we're collecting. Because at the end of the day, we're creating a company and we want to make sure that individuals are coming to our schools. Eventually, we're not going to be charging that amount, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the actual parents and future parents are able to say, hey, I feel my students or my kids are safe within your actual school. So data privacy becomes very important because of the fact that if you got a kid out there, you're super, super engaged in regards to what that individual is doing online, what that individual is doing when they're at the school, and ultimately for us, we have to make sure we're protecting that information, which is very critical.
So we have this thing in the U.S. where we say now data is king because literally everyone wants you to collect data. They want to know what the implications are. So as Danny said, he has a billionaire who's a backer. That billionaire wants to know that the money he's putting into that school is going to make an impact. So the demographics that his school is going to serve, that billionaire is going to want to know. That billionaire is going to want to know the demographics of the parents of the kids who come to that school. The billionaire is going to want to know the rate in which the children are learning, if the AI tools that they are incorporating are actually working. So all of this and the wonderful thing about data collection, they can put these algorithms in that can, test keystrokes, and they'll see exactly how fast you're picking things up. And so then if it comes down and it says, Danny Martin, I'm going to put out an age out there. Danny Martin, age...
I'm 35.
I know how old you are. I wasn't going to put that you were 35. I was really going to say that you was like 55. Danny Martin, age 55, black male, education level, Bachelor of Science degree, income, I'm gonna put like $1 million a year. I'm putting it up there. I'm making you a very distinguished gentleman. $1 million a year, and then they may also want to know what type of health issues he may have because he's sitting behind a computer. All that is extremely important as to how people are going to use that data. And so when people collect data pertaining to an individual, we all want to believe that it's going to lead to a greater good. However, there may be someone who wants to collect your data for a nefarious reason. If someone wants to collect data because they are trying to decide if black men are inferior to white men and they're using data to somehow manipulate this, we don't want our data used like that because that person is obviously manipulating data in such a way that it's not going to be actual facts, or it's not going to lead to anything that is going to be good or for that particular demographic. So that's why data privacy is extremely important. When they're collecting data, they need to tell you exactly why they're collecting data, and then you can opt in to participate in your data being a part of that. If they don't give you a consent form to opt in, even in our lab that we have at Southern University Law Center, when students come in, they have to sign a consent form. As Kwesi said, sometimes we rush through everything and we just want to go ahead and click accept when you don't know what you're accepting if you don't sit there and read it. You can accept to give away your firstborn child. And then when someone comes up and says, you signed this form right here, there was a movie that just came out over Christmas. And so they had this wonderful thing, and at the end of it, it was this form that wasn't read, and they signed, and they ended up signing away their ability to remain human. They got turned into like a little doll. It was a very good movie. I can't remember what it is. But that's how it is, because we don't take the time to read what we are accepting, and we don't know. And so that's the importance of data privacy.
Can I ask something really quickly? So watch this movie. It's Mark Zuckerberg, King of AI. Take that information down. If you have the ability to watch that movie, it speaks specifically about a person who created a company, Facebook, now Meta, that ultimately had over 1 billion people on this platform. And the dynamics of talking about data collection, you have governments that were like, You're powerful, Mark Zuckerberg. You have all access, and you're selling the access to other companies. Guess what Mark Zuckerberg did? In his organization, he hired the best lawyers because they subpoenaed him to get in front of all the individuals who were like, you're more powerful than the government right now. And the government was like, we're finna show you. But he hired lawyers and they trained him on answering every question that government would be able to ask him. And he literally stood in front of individuals, cameras, all these cameras that are here, media, and was able to answer the questions about how do you protect the data of people who are on your platform. And because he had the capital, he was able to sit here in front of everybody, the world, and say, I'm protecting these individuals' data, X, Y, Z. That's how important lawyers are. If you don't recognize it right now, look at protecting yourself, protecting your organization, but most importantly right now, you guys are consuming social media. Y'all are gonna build companies one day, or if you're doing it right now. I've spent so much capital on lawyers right now. I've literally spent, ultimately last year I had a friend who started my company, who helped me start my company earlier, that didn't really do a lot of work. And so I had to make a pivot to find someone who can really help. This individual said, I see you growing. I'm now gonna try to sue you for $1.4 million. In my mind, I'm like, what? But I had to spend money on a lawyer around about $350,000 to fight the case. He went from 1.4 million asking to 700,000 to 250,000 to 10,000 to 2,000 and ultimately to zero. Because I had good lawyers that understood our company is valuable to the point to where I'm not trying to take advantage of you, but don't try to take advantage of me. Because we're trying to impact the community, and that's important. That's the value of a lawyer.
Be creative, be a lawyer, be a barrister. That's what I really want at the end of the day. I want you to be a content creator, but I also want you to be a barrister as well, because I think that we have the power as lawyers to really impact things. So to tie this in, I'm going to come to you, Chris. How can legal education institutions contribute to the development of legal expertise specific to the esports industry? And what specialized legal knowledge is essential for supporting the growth and sustainability of esports?
I think under the leadership of you, we've already started that. We have a esports and law management certification, and I think we need to go and revamp that as a law center and add some introductional courses to it. Now that I spoke to the youth of Ghana today and talking to Kwesi today, but everything that we covered today, as far as your own IP, copyrights, trademarks, you are a brand and you have to protect your brand. And so everything that we discussed, you can learn in full at a law university, particularly at SULC. I think moving forward and moving the industry forward, just, pounding the pavement about how important IP is. I think Kwesi and Dana did a good job talking about it earlier, but you guys, I see y'all out there, I know y'all here for the tournament. You are a brand. You might play under an organization, but even your gamer tag is your IP. You need to copyright that. You need to trademark that. That's for you. You created that. That goes along with your face. That's like a dance move like Danny just talked about today. So just make sure that you're doing legal counsel. It's not all about that prize pool. It's about protecting yourself. And you can learn all that through a law university. And I think, you can definitely look us up. It's SULC.edu/esports. And we have a bunch of other institutes on there too. I know that you're going to talk about it, Marla, but please protect yourself.
So just to piggyback on that, the legal profession literally touches everything that we do in life. Sometimes we only think about the legal profession when someone gets into trouble and they need an attorney to help them out of a situation where they may have been charged with a crime or maybe accused of something. But the legal profession literally touches everything, and this is why it's so important for us to invest and partner with organizations and conferences such as this, because it is important for you to protect yourself. It doesn't matter if you are a content creator or a business person who's starting a business, or someone who's an engineer, or someone who is a doctor. The legal profession literally touches everything. And so, again, educating you on the fact that your brand, you're an entrepreneur, you are a business starter, you are starting your business, you are starting your portfolio, you're starting your profile, and really being able to protect that is extremely important. And so that is why we got into this space, because it is important to educate individuals who are black and brown, who are trying to find ways in order to do different things. And we all know the creative nature of people. And so we want to make sure that you are able to protect yourself and build that generational wealth for your family. Also, you can come by. We're outside downstairs. We have a booth. You can come by and pick up a pamphlet about SULC, Southern University Law Center. We are extremely, again, excited just to be here and looking forward to the continued partnership with universities and law firms here in Ghana. I'm going to pass it to my cohorts over here for final comments.
It's just a pleasure to be back at AfroSport Summit again this year. Like Marla said, protecting yourself is key. That's the reason why we're here. We'll be here today and tomorrow. We also have the tournament going on. I'll let Kwesi get to the details of that. But we're ready for some competition. I know you guys are excited. We're here. We want to see who wins. But not only who wins, but we want to educate too. So any questions you have, like Marla said, questions are free. So if we can help you while we're here, point you in the right direction, get you started, we're here for the next 2 days.
Well, almost all the gamers here, I know of them. So Mulish, Kalu, Jonas, faculty, Orlando, big ups. These are all my boys. We've worked together. Neboy, I've seen Neboy somewhere. I'm trying to remember the names, right? I've just seen Wonder Kids step in. All these names that you have, right, they are IPs. I've seen Dels. All these names. I've seen Starson. I've seen Parker. I've seen all of you. I've seen Endless. These names are sweet, wonderful names. And they are your IPs. You own them. You understand? That makes you you. So whenever you move in, I'm going to speak in context to our local esports space, right? So that most of you belongs to esports teams or you're being signed to esports team. It is you, the esports one, And why does the esports club want you is because of your talent and your skill set. So understand that you are a product that the team wants. You get it? So don't cheap yourself. Don't believe in yourself. Know that if you are not good, a team won't sign you. A team will not pick you. And you also have to understand that if you are not part of the team, right, the team can't make up. So believe in every aspect of you, who you are, your image, your name, your play style, your play skill, your content that you create, okay? And believe that you can make it. We are just at the beginning of esports. You guys are the forefront of what is bigger to come, right? So I'm happy to see you all, and we continue to drive this space with the unity that we have in the Ghana esports space. Big shout out to my guy, what's your name? Mayweather. I can see Mayweather. I can see, who else can I see? Yeah, Mayweather. All the big guys out there. Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm just gonna wrap this up. I like energy. I speak a lot of places, and I hate boring panels. So like for me, I'm gonna try to like make it exciting as much as I possibly can. Are y'all excited? Did y'all gain something today? I'm gonna tell you the number one thing that I gained today. Kwesi talked about how he leveraged LinkedIn because of Facebook stopping him from doing what he loves to do. This is why I am sitting here today, because of LinkedIn and Kwesi leveraging the platform. How many people, from a show of hands, use LinkedIn right now? Do not be scared. Keep it up. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful platforms right now if you're looking at being able to show your IP, your name. Kwesi was able to name multiple people, possibly in this crowd, right? Yeah? People in this crowd because your IP. I literally was in a meeting with Typical Gamer, Mr. Beast's team, and Jason Lucky. Because our team, we were like, all right, we got to spend, we had a budget of $50,000. And we had to spend this to be able to allow that content creator that has a name to play games, so therefore we can market their actual talent to parents and students to be recruited into our school. $50,000. So we're sitting here like, which one of y'all gonna take it? Typical Gamer ultimately was that person. I don't even know any of these people's real names. That lets you know how important IP is. I'm in a meeting like, hey, Typical Gamer. And everybody call me Danny Martin. But I don't even know your name. That's how important. And we're giving $50,000 for someone to create 3 social posts, to show up at a tournament, to sign some autographs. So therefore his platform, his or her platform, can help us market out to parents to get them to sign up for our school. That's
His attorney
crazy.
knows Typical Gamer's name, though. His attorney has to know that to give him the $50,000. Just saying, attorneys rule the world. That's all I'm going to say, folks. Come visit us at our station. Does anyone have any questions before we end the panel? Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. So this is more directed to Kwesi. Sorry. So, I mean, the issue of esports and then how it's emerging in Ghana has been beautiful. It's been like picking a lot of clout lately. But the side that I'm more concerned about is the internet infrastructure in Ghana. I mean, you've talked about, I mean, you were asked about the challenges, but I didn't hear that come up. So how has that hindered your your e-game adventure in Ghana, and like what are some of the solutions you think you could like implement as someone who might be like starting up, not having maybe a whole agency backing him to maybe strike a deal with a telco or something on the internet infrastructure? What could be done, or what are some of the ways you could advise them to go about this? Thank you.
Well, yes. Internet is just one piece of the puzzle that we face, but gaming is not luxury. It's not cheap. You know, you buy the game like $60. You don't even buy it in cedis. You buy it in dollars. Now, if you do the convention, you know how much it is. And everybody here will want to have the game. They want to play online. After buying the game, you need to download it. It's almost about 70 gig. You know, that is also another money that you need to pay to download and play the game. Then you want to have a PS Plus or something, because most of us play on PlayStation Network. So you want that. And so if you look at it, we are really cut off. But when it comes to internet, right, the Esports Association has worked with almost every telco in Ghana. And that option of getting a data bundle for gamers has always been a discussion on the table. We even said, if nothing, don't give us daytime, give us midnight data bundle, right? Unlimited cap, because definitely two things are happening for gamers here. One, we are downloading, and two, we are uploading. You get it? So who do you think use data here in Ghana most? Who? After buying a game at $60 or $70, you download Fonza game now on Xbox. It's 100 and something gig, 130 gig to download. How much is 130 gig in Ghana cities? MTN. Anybody knows? So you see, gamers, we are trying. All these boys here spend their time. I know some gamer here, they have to play tournament with some competitor outside, and they have to spend time at a gaming cafe. We do tournaments, we do online tournaments, and some have to go to gaming cafe to go and play. They pay for the time, and they have to pay for the PSN Plus that they have to use. And unfortunately, you see, I would say everything rise and fall on leadership, right? Basically, I'm part two, but the thing is, the telco leadership do not appreciate gaming and esports. Simple as that. They appreciate something like music. They will want to push that. And I'll say this on record. Back before Tigo became Airtel Tigo, Tigo has had a marketing manager who was into gaming. So when they were launching a project called Tigo Agbo, they wanted to do 4 activations. We did the first one at Achimota Mall. We came to do the second one at Aviation Social Center. The third one at Dansoman. The 4th activation, before that 4th one, the guy left Tigo. Guess what happened? The next marketing manager who came said that he's not interested in esports and gaming. That is how hard sometimes. So we try our best. We've spoken to MTN. We've spoken to Vodafone. There are meetings. I have gone to meetings with almost every telco. Every busy internet before it became busy 4G. Right? So there is Main One. I see my comms director. We've spoken to Main One. Who knows what Main One is? Main One is the ISP interchanger. Like, they are like the ones that controls the internet gateway, right? We've spoken to them. And there is also Spectrum. We've spoken to PAX. These are all data centers, right? So it's not like we are not doing the work, but it will take a bit of time for them to really understand what this gaming and esports is. Some people up there appreciate, and they open their doors for us to come. But the big telcos like MTN, Vodafone, Tigo, well, there's an opportunity for them. Let me give you an idea. Imagine that you can buy your PSN card with your Momo. What will happen? MTN all of a sudden has a lot of money coming through, right? Because currently what we have to do is that we have to buy the dollar. You have to buy the scratch card in dollar, right? You probably send Momo to somebody who can buy it in dollar equivalent and send it back to us. And it's expensive. These are real challenges that gamers are facing here in Ghana. And the question he asked, telcos, internet challenges, yes. The problem is so much so that at a point, if you play MTN, if you're on MTN broadband, and you are playing with, let's say, Vodafone broadband, it wasn't connected, right? And even so, the internet is dependent on location. You know, maybe you are Kaswa, maybe you are playing with somebody in Labadi. It's not connecting because the guy in Labadi is getting 3G and the guy in Kaswa is 4G. It's not working. These are some of the challenges that we need to talk about. But the telcos won't come to these conferences to come and hear these. I hope maybe when these words goes out there. But they know that sports is a contributor to the GDP of Ghana. Unfortunately, how many of our leaders are here to listen to some of us to speak about the challenges of these young people? Look at how many of them are here just to play because they have the passion for it. And they will spend the money to come, right? Thank you.
Another question here, please.
So I just wanted to piggyback off of Kwesi. Internet challenges aren't just something that is exclusive in Ghana. We have the same thing that's happening in the United States. When COVID hit, that's when the United States government realized that we had broadband deserts because those who were in rural communities, those poor communities did not have access and were not able to actually go to school. You had mothers who were taking their children to parking lots at McDonald's or the library, anywhere that they can get access to public Wi-Fi. And so the same issues that you all have in Ghana are some of the same issues that we're facing in the United States, which is why we think that it's so important for us to educate people on the industry that is esports, but then also get some of these companies that are involved, as Danny mentioned, Microsoft and Activision and Roblox, in order for us to build the infrastructure that we need. And so that's what Southern University Law Center is really trying to do. Make sure that we can talk to individuals who within different spaces, specifically in Ghana, because that's who we've chosen to partner with, to talk about the importance and the need in order how to build the infrastructure that's needed in order to get what's needed in order for students to get scholarships and also be able to benefit from your name, image, and likeness when you're using this. In the meantime, what we've done at Southern University Law Center is that we have a gaming room that students can come in, because even on the campus of Southern University, which is where we sit, we have problems with internet access. But we've done certain things. One of our cell phone providers is T-Mobile, so we've partnered with T-Mobile, and they've helped us to create some opportunities to increase the access for that room specifically, so students who want to come in, they can participate. And it's not far-fetched that the same thing can happen in Ghana. We just have to meet with the right people just to make sure, as Kwesi said, it takes a little time. But the more education that we put out there, the more exposure that we have, the better opportunity that we can get in to come in and have those companies invest, because y'all are investing this $60 and $70 per game. So they need to invest back into the communities that are helping them to maintain their billionaire status.
But they're not going to invest unless y'all speak, and you speak through content. Create content.
Okay, somebody else had a question?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. First and foremost, I would like to say each and every player here, we really appreciate you guys coming here to, let's say, sponsor, this summit or this tournament. firstly, I would like to say, I would want us to go to the basic and fundamental challenges that each and every player we face in this country. I think not every player, almost every player doesn't own a console. And this is the basic and fundamental challenge that each and every player, almost every player is facing in this country. And here comes where, let's say, if we have a tournament, as I said earlier on, we really appreciate all organizers and everything, but you have a tournament being organized, and the prize, let me say, the winning fee or the amount the winner takes can't even afford a console. So I would like to, I'm asking, how are we going to go about this? Because becoming a gamer is very, very expensive now in our country. And if I win a tournament and the money is not able to afford a console, then how am I going to build up my career as a gamer? Yeah.
I think that's a good question. Just it's timing. It's timing. Like Kwesi and I were talking earlier today. The tournament that we did last year around the same time was way smaller than the one that we're doing today. And so with time, I think, you know, those resources are going to start to pour in. Like Danny just said, you have to build content, but you're saying, hey, we don't have accessibility. We have the same problem in the States. To be real transparent with you, I brought 2 consoles over here for Kwesi a few days ago because I knew y'all don't have accessibility to consoles like that. So it's all about building culture. Once you build culture, you build brands. Once you build brands, then big brands come. But it's going to take time. It's going to take structure. Kwesi's already did a good job with structure. Now y'all got to build a culture. How y'all came out in droves today, y'all got to do that when I'm not here. I know the prize pool got y'all out. I know being a part of the AfroSport Summit got you to come out. But every time he puts up a tournament, you got to show up in numbers. He's going to make sure the content creators are there. We see it. Brands are going to start to see it. Then you're going to start to get product. You're going to start to get councils, controllers, and stuff like that. That way you can provide for your families. All right?
I wouldn't be here unless it was because of Marla, Chris. But I'm not going to take no shine from them. It's really because of Kwesi. I've been following this guy for years and told myself, this individual, based off his content that I see on LinkedIn, he's doing the same thing that I'm doing in the US. And I mentally know, man, he has way less resources and he's still doing it. It made me be like, it humbled myself to the point to where I'm like, I gotta come out here. I gotta be able to hear you guys, some of the concerns that you have. But at the end of the day, make sure you recognizing. People be like, Danny, why are you spending over all these years I've been in this industry? It was my year 8 where I was able to make capital. And people was like, are you crazy? Like, where are you making money? I was investing so much money, time, myself. Sometimes I didn't even have it. I was doing other jobs just to fund this industry, fund my company. But I believed it from the perspective of understanding that I may not make no money. I may die today without making any capital, but I'm doing it for the next generation. So everybody that's sitting here right now, while you love gaming and you're passionate about this industry, just know that you're doing something historic for the next generation. I love the actual elements of you guys coming out for capital. A lot of you may not even make the capital from the perspective of winning this actual prize purse. But know you're doing something really dope for the world and understanding that you're doing it for your next generation. Because I am betting on technology, and this is the best industry right now to be a part of because it's consistently getting better, it's growing, companies are looking, people are investing, and I'm not gonna stop. That's why I'm here, because of Kwesi.
Well, I'm humbled. Yes, consoles, PCs, hardware is difficult and expensive here in Ghana. But what I want to tell you is this, Orlando, big ups, is that normally the prize pools won't be able to purchase the console. So what do? You save a little. And I want every gamer here to cultivate the habit of saving. Save a little, save. If you can put down maybe 20 CDs, 30 CDs, if you win a pot prize, don't chop all. Because I know that 4,000 by tomorrow, that money is finished. I know prize pools, 10,000 prize pools. By the time the player will even, the manager will call the player, oh, I've given this guy, this is finished. Guys, my boys, I won't talk pidgin so that you guys go no say, me, I dare your level. I beg, make we save small of the money. Open an account. How many of you have an account, bank account? The players, the gamers. If you go love, talk your team managers, make them send the thing to your bank account. I beg you, make you save small. See, if you save by the end of the year, you would have bought your own console. And if you have your own console, you know, say you go play the game even more better. You have the time and luxury of time to create the content you want. I beg you, make you save small. The password be say, make you what? Nice one.
I would like to say, F consoles, you guys have all these phones. In the U.S., right now, I'm here because I understand the value of this phone. And most of the games right now are going to mobile. Understand the value of your phone right now. I'm already like, if we don't start going mobile in the U.S., we're going to be behind. And who has the most population? Y'all and India. And y'all going to do it on your phone. I have to actively understand as a CEO of a company where the trends are happening. And y'all have the access because of this phone.
Thank you all so much. This has been so great. Again, stop by the tournament. We are extremely excited about that. And stop by our booth if you have any questions.
Brilliant. Right. Yeah, I love that energy. I love that. Very, very, very educative, very informative, and of course, plenty of important things have been discussed. Please give it up for them while they take leave of the stage.